Have you ever heard of the real-life Lion King? No, I'm not talking about Simba. I'm talking about a legendary African emperor whose story of overcoming adversity is just as epic, if not more so. This is the story of Sundiata Keita, the Lion King of Mali. Our story begins in the early 13th century in the small kingdom of Niani, part of the declining Ghana Empire in West Africa. A prophecy was given to a king. He must marry an ugly woman, for their son would become a mighty ruler. True to the prophecy, two hunters presented the king with a hunchbacked woman named Sogalan. The king married her, and she gave birth to a son, Sundiata. But the young prince was a disappointment. He was born paralyzed, unable to walk. He couldn't speak for years. As his father's other wives mocked his mother and bullied him, Sundiata grew up in the shadow of humiliation. His own half-brother, Dankaran Tuman, was chosen as heir to the throne. For years, Sundiata crawled on all fours, enduring the scorn of the royal court. So Galan, his mother, was heartbroken, not just for her son, but for the shame she faced. One day, she was insulted yet again by the queen mother for having to borrow baobab leaves. Filled with a mix of shame and determination, Sundiata decided he had had enough. He told his mother that not only would he walk that day, but he would bring her an entire baobab tree. He ordered the royal smiths to forge the heaviest iron rod they could make. With immense effort, straining every muscle, Sundiata used the rod to pull himself up. The rod bent under his strength, but he stood. He stood on his own 2 feet for the first time. The crowd that had gathered to mock him fell silent, then erupted in cheers. From that day on, not only did Sundiata walk, he became a strong and respected warrior and a masterful hunter, beloved by the people. But his newfound strength made him a threat. His half-brother, the king, and the queen mother grew jealous and fearful. They plotted against him, forcing Sundiata, his mother, and his sisters into exile. For years, they wandered from kingdom to kingdom, seeking refuge. This period of hardship was not wasted. Sundiata learned about different cultures, politics, and warfare. He built alliances and earned a reputation as a wise and capable leader in waiting. He spent time in the court of the Mema kingdom, where the king was so impressed by his abilities that he made Sundiata his heir. Meanwhile, back home, a great evil had risen. A tyrannical sorcerer king named Sumoro Kanti of the Soso kingdom had conquered Niani and the surrounding lands. Sumoro was ruthless. He ruled through fear and magic, collecting the heads of defeated kings and using their skin for furniture. He crushed any rebellion and enslaved the Mandinka people, the people of Sundiata. The people of Mali suffered terribly under his reign. Desperate, they sent messengers to find their exiled prince, the one prophesied to be their great liberator. They found Sundiata in Mema. When he heard of his people's plight, he knew his destiny had arrived. The king of Mema, seeing the fire in his eyes, gave him half of his army to reclaim his homeland. Sundiata began his campaign, gathering a coalition of smaller kingdoms that had been terrorized by Sumoro. He was a brilliant strategist, using his knowledge of the land and the loyalty of his allies to his advantage. The final confrontation came at the Battle of Kirana. Legend says it was a duel of both warriors and sorcerers. Sumoro was believed to be magically protected, with arrows bouncing off his skin, but Sundiata had a secret weapon. He had learned that Sumoro's only weakness was a special arrow, tipped with the spur of a white rooster. In the heat of battle, Sundiata aimed his bow. The magical arrow flew true, grazing Sumoro's shoulder. The Sorcerer King instantly lost his powers. Seeing their leader weakened, Sumoro's army lost their will to fight and were quickly defeated. Sumoro himself fled, vanishing into the mountains, never to be seen again. With the tyrant gone, Sundiata Keita was crowned Mansa, which means King of Kings. He united all the Mandinka kingdoms into a single, powerful state, the Mali Empire. But Sundiata wasn't just a conqueror, he was a visionary nation builder. He established a capital city, Niani, and turned it into a bustling center of trade and culture. He was a devout Muslim, but he also respected and incorporated traditional African beliefs, creating a culture of religious tolerance. His greatest achievement, however, was the establishment of the Mandan Charter, or Kuru Konfauga. This was one of the first known constitutions in the world, an oral charter that established laws for the empire. It promoted social justice, human rights, and environmental protection. It declared the sanctity of every human life, abolished slavery among the Mandinka people, and granted rights to women and children. This charter was so ahead of its time that it is now recognized by UNESCO as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity. Under Sundiata's rule, the Mali Empire flourished. He organized the government, agriculture, and trade. He controlled the trans-Saharan trade routes for gold, salt, and other goods, making the empire incredibly wealthy and powerful. His reign laid the foundation for an empire that would, under his grandnephew Mansa Musa, become one of the wealthiest and most influential in all of history. Sundiata Keita's life is a testament to the power of resilience. From a crippled boy who couldn't walk to the founder of a mighty empire, his story has been passed down for centuries through oral tradition by griots, West African storytellers. It's an epic that has inspired countless people, and yes, many scholars believe it was one of the key inspirations for Disney's The Lion King. The disabled prince, an evil usurper, an exile, and a triumphant return to claim a kingdom. The parallels are uncanny. Sundiata's legacy is not just one of military might, but of justice, unity, and perseverance. He transformed personal tragedy into a source of strength and used that strength to build a nation that would shine as a beacon of African civilization for centuries to come. The Lion of Mali truly earned his name, not just by his strength, but by his wisdom and his heart. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the history of one of Africa's greatest leaders, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more epic stories from around the world. See you next time.